Welcome to all the monks and novices, and blessings to all the laity. Learning and practicing of the Dhamma is for the highest benefit to our minds, or the highest benefit that comes from using our time to build goodness. This time of ours has great value. We utilize our time for the attainment of success and for reaching a good goal. And time has value to the mind and is for putting down a plan with deliberation, and we use our determination, effort, and hard work and overcome all the obstacles and problems in our way. Some people call this an unwavering fight. If this work has not yet succeeded, I will not stop. I will pass all obstacles and get to my goal that I have set. The true success in life can't be measured from outer value, like by money, wealth, fame, status, or position, but the true measure of success requires a deeper, more valuable measure, such as the quality of life, one's ideals, the value of the goal, happiness, and satisfaction in life. One person has said something before that is worth thinking about. That time is life. The success of life, work, and career is inevitably related to time. Those who are truly successful are those who can greatly utilize the time in their life and gain good results from it. They are someone who learns and realizes the importance of time that is worth the value of life. They are someone who does not leave time to waste and be useless, to be without benefit, but they use each and every second for the purpose of their goal, knowing how to use each moment of one's life and for what purpose. And they hope to gain specific results from their time that they have invested in it. One's life is like having an engine inside. We call this the body. And every person knows how many horsepower they have, that is, what skills and abilities they have, and in which areas. If we use it to the fullest, our lives will have happiness, be full of joy, and have a great meaning of life. And the question may come up in our mind that, why do we need to manage our time? There is one example for us to look at. There was one farmer who woke up early to go out to plough the field. He determined that today he would sow all the remaining rice in the field, all in one day. And on initial inspection, he saw the petrol of the tractor had run out, so he walked to go get petrol. While walking past the pig house, he thought that as he was walking this way, then he should stop and give the pig some food. It should be okay, as he would be able to ease some of the burden for his wife. He then stopped at the warehouse that stored the food for the pigs. And at the time when he saw the sack of pig food, it reminded him that the cotton was ready to collect. So he grabbed an empty sack and went to go collect the cotton. And as he was walking there, he passed a pile of wood and realized that his wife had told him to burn the wood to make charcoal because the charcoal was about to run out. So he laid the sack down and carried the wood to prepare it to burn. And by chance, a chicken that was searching for food passed by him and made him remember that many chickens had died recently because of a disease. So he intended to separate the diseased chickens from those without the disease. And so he started to chase the chickens, and after he had only caught a few of them, the sun had already set to the level of the ground. So he started to walk back home. The work that he had intended to do in the beginning remained in the same condition. The fields were still waiting for the tractor to plough it, and the work he tried to do on the way was also not very successful, not even a single task. And many people would laugh while listening to this story. They would think that this farmer is really silly. But if we carefully observe our lives, we will find that many times we are like this farmer to some degree. Some people may be just like this. Some people may just be like this farmer 80%, 70%, or 50%. But there will be those who are like this farmer, but the image of our lives may not be as clear as the picture of this farmer's life, because this is an imaginary picture of life by looking at one short day in a person's life. But for us, we may bring up a combined picture of our whole life, which will differ in varying lengths from person to person. And there are many people who live their lives without a purpose. They think of time just day by day, and at the end of their life, it is empty. There is nothing to remember and be proud of, because they had never created anything good, not being a good example for society to remember oneself. And on the other hand, there are many people who go create many problems for society. Yet even those with a goal in life, while walking towards the goal, deviate from the path and get lost in various things, go follow them, and therefore do not reach their intended goal in the end. Or while many others, who may even have clear life goals, they persevere and overcome the obstacles and do reach their goal. But in the end, they find that achieving the set goal did not give the happiness that they had expected, because that goal was not a truly valuable goal. Time and life are not like a cassette tape. Once it has run out, it cannot be rewinded and started again. But the time and life, when they are used, they are all spent. And each person has only one life, and we don't know whether tomorrow we will still have time left or not. The time that has passed we have already spent, so the rest of the time we do have in the present we have to live with constant mindfulness and caution. Then, when the end of our lives come, we will not sit and regret the time and the life that has passed. And one can smile proudly and tell oneself that I have spent my time to the fullest. And so the question of why we have to manage time, this is because time is life. Time management is equal to managing life, and those who become successful and truly happy cannot avoid managing life or managing one's time. If time management fails, you may have to miss out on doing many things that you wanted to do, just because of this one cause, because one doesn't have enough time. There are many people who intend to dedicate themselves to helping society in certain areas, but they don't do as they intended, because they were too busy going back to their own business and wasting days continuously. Some people die before they get to do what they aspired to. In truth, regardless of how important or not the goal is, it all requires time in order to do it. We therefore have to learn and manage our time well, in order not to miss out on the good things, not even missing out on one good thing. In regards to this, there are examples of this since the time of the Buddha. There was one son of a very wealthy Brahmin. However, this son was one who did not know how to manage his time. He didn't know how to do his duties and work, and he let time pass by with no benefit, all the way until he became old. And the Buddha said that if this man was diligent since childhood, he would have been an extremely wealthy man. But even if he was lazy then, but at middle age he worked hard, then he would still be a rich man. But even if he was lazy, but diligent in the late stages of his life, he would still be a fairly wealthy man. But this person, at the beginning of his life, was not diligent. He was not interested in education or in work, because his parents were rich. In the middle age, he wasted it and wandered around, not interested in doing work or business, until he got to old age and still didn't do anything, and so did not meet with any success. And if he had practiced Dhamma since a young age, he would have been able to gain a high noble attainment. Or even if he practiced Dhamma since middle age, then he would have had a good level of noble attainment. And even if only at old age he tried to persevere in the practice, he would have attained noble virtue to at least the level of Sotapanna, stream entry. But here in the world and in the Dhamma, he wasn't interested, so then he destroyed any benefit in the world and in the Dhamma, because time had passed by. Even though in this life he had a good opportunity, he did not want to progress in the world nor progress in the Dhamma. This is called being a worthless person, that is, being unable to manage one's time, and so his life came up empty. The Lord Buddha said that we should not be heedless. The days and nights are passing by, passing by. What are we doing now? As children, as students, one should know how to study well, know how to split up one's time, playing just an appropriate amount of time, not being addicted to games, not too addicted to things that waste one's time. Being a young novice monk, then being determined in developing one's mind, not being too frivolous in chatting and talking. Be determined, because the novices are a part of the renunciants who have calm. If you learn from a young age, then your future will be very prosperous, because you will have studied the suttas, the teachings of the Buddha, and put them into practice, and then you will progress a lot. Or being a young monk, then be determined in efforts at mental development since young, doing the Korwat Patipada, the monastic duties, and keeping good sila, cultivating mindfulness and samadhi well, then you will develop and progress level by level. And even if one is ordained at the end of one's life, one can be like the many elderly who ordained in the time of the Buddha and practiced well to a high level, like Radha Brahman Mahathera, who ordained when he was old, but he was one who was easy to teach and instruct. He knew that he was old already and that he had to be determined in practice. He knew that he had little time left, and so he wasn't heedless, and he was able to attain to arahantship. In summary, we cannot use our time in just any way, because time is always precious. There is an opportunity cost every time we choose to do something. This means that we are losing the opportunity to do other things at the same time. Time is life. It never goes back, and there is nothing that can substitute for it. Leaving time to waste in vain is the same as giving away one's life in vain. But being a master over your time will be equal to being a master of your life. We will then gain benefit from it the most. Don't let the time run out, which will give no meaning to the value of our life, because that time will also be swallowed up. Therefore, every life will be swallowed up with time. Please be established in not being heedless. May you grow in blessings.